I mean, hash
Archer's
browns
roll today is an 18. Got so close to a natural
Archer.
20.
Nice.
18 for you guys today. You can sub out any roll today for an 18. I was telling everybody else, I don't have a prologue today. I just had a particularly busy week, and I had one that I didn't really like, so I scrapped it. So no prologue this week. But it may take us a little bit longer to recap because it's been a few weeks anyway, so that is all right by me. It is 5:45 though. Would anyone like to recap from last session? If you remember anything / watch the recording, which I did not. I will admit that.
Brad.
I'll recap. So actually, this is June 24th. Archer rolled a 20 for the party in that session. We didn't do a prologue, but we responded in the perspective of our alternate tithes characters. It says Brackle levels with Thane so as not to interfere. Brackle inspects the framed photo of Maxine with a Tabaxi woman, Elvish man, and an Aarakocran. Urzak knows the Tabaxi woman from selling goods in Farinth. Urzak finds Shimmering Lake Fourth -fall, or like as in autumn, written on the back of the photo. There's an orb location at Eagle Peaks near where the picture was taken. Brackle casts legend lore, right? Maxine is a Hexblood cleric. Human wizard Tanis. The Elvish man's name is Zanish. Tabaxi woman is Io.
Io, yep.
Io. The Aarakocran monk is Rix with a W. 15-year-old picture. Thane is moved to a prison cell. Z brings his construct and a device on his wrist. The party splits into 2 elevator rides, and the remaining guards are also placed in prison cells. Lily Hargrave makes no note of any alarm from the lower level. Teth and Urzak cut out Thane's tongue. We ascend and make our way through the levels of the prison back to the ground level outside. Warwick wind walks due to Teth with 9 prisoners to outside the prison, and the guards are intimidated and persuaded to avoid confrontation. And Teth sends a message to Dez about the prisoners wind walking and a purple beacon in the night sky.
I forgot there
That's
was
about
about that scene with Teth and Urzak. Thane.
I did too.
I didn't.
It's a good scene. I liked it.
So it's all about compromise. Listen, I know you want to kill this man. I don't want to kill him. It's just compromise. Just make it the middle. Just kill him a little bit.
I mean, there's such
Cut him
an
in half.
easily accessible torture device in the prison. So, I mean, obviously, it was, common. It was just laying on the ground by the milk room.
The milk room. Man, what a wild improvisation that I can't believe ever happened. I hate that it did, honestly. That's just disgusting.
I think my favorite part, wasn't there like a map spread out too? So it was like the milk and map room. Like it was like a joint thing.
Yeah.
Like a nonsensical combination.
Yeah, just guys studying the terrain of the wilds while also drinking spoiled milk.
Yes.
Gross.
They keep it at like the worst temperature, like just out of range. It's
Yeah,
55 degrees or something.
Yeah, just enough to spoil it just faster than normal. Disgusting. All right. Well, I'm going to, if you are in, yeah, all of you are in roll 20. Hey, somebody's missing.
I'm refreshing.
Oh, gotcha. This is just a condensed map of the desert and the wilds, and your position in relation to Kazul, Cyprus, which was a small town of note that you thought you might journey back to on your way back to Kazul, and the Purple Orb. I'm going to just place you into a desert map right now. You can select your walking order however you'd like. But first, I would love for all of you to roll 1d100, please. As opposed to all of the other d100s
Oh my
that
god,
Andrew.
what the fuck, guys?
It was a celebratory music for a second.
Yeah.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Dang.
It's like a 1 out of 100 chance that happened.
We have what? We have 25 from Vern, 67 from Brackle, a 66 from Eric, 67 from Teth, and Big.
Why doesn't it roll it? Oh, what did I do?
I think you gotta put a 1 in front of the D100.
Oh, it doesn't know. Stupid.
For Bagels. Not a great roll, Bagels.
2 baker's dozens.
Still higher than Vern, though. So, all right, that comes to. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I did use a calculator, so hopefully this is correct. 266 out of 500, which is not bad. It's
Scratch
above
that.
half.
13's a baker's dozen. My bad, guys. That was 14. Just wanted to clarify my mislabeling of that.
I was gonna say, I was about to make the
Math.
joke that good thing you're not a math teacher, but
I thought it was 14, not 13. God. Okay.
We chose
So I
English for a reason here.
Yeah. I lacked enough confidence that I had to look it up.
Well, it's like a baker's dozen so that the baker can, sample and steal one and still
Is
have
that
a
the
dozen
lore?
left over. I don't know. That's what I'm thinking.
I thought it had to
Maybe-
do with like the shape of the pan was just like what fit on a pan at some point, but
Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably wrong.
You ever seen those
Do you-
like videos where the chef like cuts out like the middle of the quesadilla, puts it back together? It's like
Oh,
they'll
yeah.
never know. And then like they steal a good quarter of
That's
it.
for it's the 13th cross section of the burrito. This is for me. Can you imagine if it was based on pan size, like bakers the world over, which is like this fits a perfect dozen plus 1 croissant? That's so strange. Why don't we just make the pans 2 square inches smaller to fit the perfect amount?
The most widely accepted is that bakers would throw an extra loaf into orders of a dozen to avoid a flogging.
Oh,
Okay. Do you want
Much
to
darker than I
very
thought.
real threat.
Yeah.
Here you go, sir. Plus 1 more, just for good measure. Please don't beat me. Yeah,
that's
266. Not terrible.
Thanks to Flogging Molly for teaching me what that word meant.
There you go.
All right, so you just exited the prison.
Poor Molly.
Mhm.
You succeeded in imprisoning, possibly indefinitely, Maxine. And you got out without sounding a crazy amount of alarm. Eventually, somebody else will go down to that level and figure out that all of their prisoners are gone. And 3 of their guards are still just like in those cells.
Thane, what happened? Oh.
Wouldn't you know? Those inspectors that were here for like 2 hours, they were not inspectors, actually.
I really can and hope that the people who actually eventually show up are like the real inspectors.
Yeah.
And they get thrown in prison. It's like, we're not falling for that again.
Immediate imprisonment.
They said that
Sure,
six
yeah.
people were inspectors. They only sent 2.
Yeah, the company they should have been wearing these uniforms too. I don't know what you guys thought you were dealing with. So yeah, you've gotten out of the prison. So most of the guards actually took a liking to all of you. You rolled really well. You persuaded a lot of them and convinced a lot of them. On your way out, you rolled really well also. So there were very few guards that actually got in your way upon your escape. So you made it out unscathed. Well, relatively unscathed. Nothing too detrimental. We said when we last saw this party that the others that came out with the Windwalk were not in view. I would like to retcon that. I think I just didn't want to deal with that many NPCs in that moment of my life for another minute. I just did not want to deal with it. We'll say that they are within view, just kind of like chilling, waiting for action from you. I don't think that's a game-breaking retcon. You do see the purple orb. The purple orb is moving out into the wilds to the southwest. You would know if either Teth or Vern pops up their orb map that is in the direction of where the purple orb seems to be representing itself. But you do have other options. You can go to Cyprus. You can go back to Kazul and meet up with Orion. It's all up to you. So at this point, evening time, what are you guys thinking?
Follow that orb is what I'm thinking.
And it's my opinion that it makes no sense to go back through the wilds more than we need to.
Yeah.
Right.
So I also agree.
I
I don't know, guys. Let's ask P-Pup, the new leader of our party.
P Puppet is left hand man coil.
Yeah. Yeah. They spent a lot of time together up in that control room. Maybe they got to know each other better. We'll say that all the other creatures are kind of like up this way. Maybe if you just exited the prison, we'll say that little dome is down here. And
I also
they're
I didn't think
in
about
this
that.
area.
Like, we have all these fucking people with us now too, right?
Yeah, but they're still under Windwalk. They have plenty of time left. 'Cause that's 8 hours, right?
Yeah.
They have enough
So they
time
can easily
to
make it.
Yeah, to Kazul.
Because they're going at triple speed.
Are they
Yeah.
just scattering? Are they just we can't really tell them where to go?
They
anymore,
were
right?
they were following Warwick pretty much from what I remember.
They are surrounding Warwick, kind of waiting to hear what we want to do with them next. So that's something that you guys can command them to do, or maybe not command them to do, but kind of talk to Warwick about. He seems to be intent on getting them to safety. So he will defer to your judgment whether you want to take them with you or send them somewhere else.
I think we could benefit from having the Christian zealot with us a little while longer. So she can stay.
God. Yeah, I mean, she has windwalk on, but she's still in manacles. Like, under
Yeah.
8 hours of freedom are up. She's still gonna be manacled wherever she's at.
Yeah. Pop out of cloud form, just all over immediately onto the ground.
Man, I would love Warwick to stay with us, but I guess we have Zethlo.
And we have Hardgrave. Like I think we have Hard.
But we also have Eric's brother.
Oh yeah, is he gonna leave?
Yes.
For all of yeah. Eric's brother.
Forgot
should stay,
about
for
all of the extra stuff.
Listen, man, Windwalk only works for so many people. You did this to yourself.
True. You have Halberad, and you do have Zethlo with you. Yes.
Mhm.
I thought Halbarad was like skin and bone. I thought he was like on the verge of death.
Yeah, he's severely weakened. He's very thin, still very pale, covered in burns. Somebody gave him healing. Somebody healed him last time. Not all the way, but they gave him a decent amount of healing.
Was it Eric?
I don't think it
don't think
was.
so.
I don't think it was.
The worst
I
brother.
don't think so.
I'm trying to
Wait,
remember.
I do think that Eric gave him some good berries from the dryads,
Yeah,
actually.
Yeah. I think eventually
I
there was. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, still technically not Eric.
Not directly.
They said they have a strained relationship, so
Is there any chance we could like put a little distance between us and the camp, or in the not the camp, in the prison, and then set up a campsite to rest? My health is fine right now, but I don't have like any
yeah, I'm tapped
L's
too.
left.
If I remember
Yeah.
correctly, most of us are pretty tapped out.
Yeah.
It's towards the end of the day anyway. So if you want to put some distance between yourselves and the prison and kind of camp out, totally. How would you do that?
Can I send Zapdos up and just like scout out like a place that seems kind of quiet and secluded up ahead?
Sure. Yeah. How high are you sending him up?
Well, he has fantastic eyesight, so high enough where nothing is going to mess with him.
Okay. Do you want to keep him up there and kind of report back to you, or just get a quick lay of the land and come back down?
He can mentally tell me coordinates, and we'll head that direction then.
Sweet. Give me a survival check from Zapdos, please.
Right. So, survivalist wisdom. The Zapdos, like, I feel like he's even worse than Vermin.
Perfect
This is
match.
why we're such a good pair. Yeah, exactly. This is why we're a good pair.
Zap.
Don't lead us into trouble. Just
Yeah.
we can't get wiped out because we walk into another giant slime because of Zapdos.
I was gonna say, can we at least say that we can send work on his way with his group?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll say that.
Okay.
Yeah, Warwick will bid you all farewell. He is. He will give you. Hold on 1 second. He's going to give you a few potions. I am going to randomly roll 4 real quick.
Hell yeah.
These will be things that he excuse, things that he came across on his way out of the prison and just ended up taking. An 11, a 5, and a 12. Yeah, whoever ends up talking to him, Herzog, before he resumes his cloud form and shoots off into the sky with the rest of everyone else, he's going to hand over a potion of clairvoyance.
Ooh, boy.
The other one, 11 and a 12. A potion of fire breath. And a
Carlos, you're so good at staying still sometimes that I genuinely think that you drop.
sorry. I'm just reading this to make sure I have the right one. He is also going to give you a potion of mind control, a rare potion of mind control. This is a humanoid variant, so you can cast with it or imitate the effects of a dominate person spell. One time. Have you guys, side note, have you guys noticed all of the 2014 annotations on D&D Beyond now?
Mhm.
I think that's how they're going to do it. I think they're going to split everything 2014 and 2024 once everything rolls out. So it's going to be a massive update, just like a shit ton of stuff in D&D Beyond. Anyway, you can duplicate the effects of dominate person one time on a humanoid that consumes this potion. So, potion of mind control, potion of fire breath, potion of, what should I say? Clairvoyance.
So you have to have somebody else drink the potion, or do you drink the potion and then use the spell, theoretically?
I believe you give the potion to somebody and they, let me read it actually. It doesn't make sense for you
No,
to drink the potion and then you
it
just
says
cast the spell.
it says when you drink it, you can cast it.
Oh,
It's not a poison.
if you don't, the potion is wasted. Okay.
Just imagine holding somebody down. Drink
Oh.
this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, that would make sense.
You actually have
Yeah.
to
So essentially, you drink it and you have to cast it in the same turn, so as a part of the same action.
I have no interest in any of those things. If someone else would like to claim,
just put it in party loot
Party loot.
along with the deck of many things.
somebody should claim it before it's 2 months later and we've forgot it exists.
Yeah, let me pull it.
Well, I can
The worst
already.
thing that can happen to you is it kills you.
What?
The deck of many things.
I thought you were talking about these potions still. It's like,
No.
what kind of
I
potions
don't
are you
think
talking
that's
about, man?
the worst thing.
No.
I think there are other things that are.
Yeah, it's weird. Does that
On a
sound?
grand scale, there are worse.
There are worse things than dying.
I would say the Don John.
Yeah, those ones are like you pretty much die, but you also get sent to like a separate dimension, little
Yeah.
jail, and exist there alone to die forever.
I really want
Yeah,
someone
like the flames. A powerful devil becomes your enemy. This devil seeks your ruin and plagues your life, savoring your suffering before attempting to slay you. This enmity lasts until either you or the devil dies. So it's eternal lust for your suffering.
Your own
Dying is
personal
just the
devil.
easy way out. Yeah.
Would Coil know that this was a magic deck of cards if we tell him to pick a card?
God.
Probably not. Honestly,
I don't want to do that to him. I'm just really
I would
morbidly
have no idea.
But if we have
You
Peep Up draw and he gets a wish,
curious.
That's how he gets his corn. Corn
I
land.
mean,
God, he doesn't give a shit
you're
about
in the middle
talking.
of the wilds. If you're gonna do this anywhere, now's the time. You know,
He's
basically in
ruined.
a magical arcane wasteland. So
And
you can't do anything bad to your surroundings.
the only thing that I refuse to draw it for is the like lose all your magic items card. It's a ruin.
Oof.
Yeah, ruined.
Oh
It destroys all your wealth, all your possessions, any like deeds or lands you have.
Oh, no.
Start
It's
over.
like it's like everything is gone.
You lose the title of the Blade of Lindis.
The Blade of Lindis exactly. Like Urzak
Yeah.
would be so fucked. I would start playing a new character next week.
Yeah.
That's a third of Taurus would be gone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
his,
Yep.
his soul would be gone.
We need to do something with those at some point too. The soul of a
It's true.
demigod.
It's true.
Mhm.
Well, if you pursue the purple orb, that is above table. That's a place that you could probably rebuild him
That'd be cool. But
within the
Zapdos rolled
chambers
five.
with the god of death.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
just
Okay.
trouble.
So yeah, going back to Zapdos rolling a 5. I will concede to your pleading to not let this roll of a 3 give you misinformation. I'm just gonna say that he just gets distracted. He gets up there in the fresh air. He's been down in this prison for a long time, and he's just enjoying being out in nature again. And he gets up there, he just flies around for a little bit, and he comes back down and forgets what he went up there for.
It's okay, little buddy. We've all been there. All right. Fern defers to whoever else wants to make a plan for camp.
Are you? I am assuming you're journeying towards the southwest,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
think so.
towards the wherever the orb is. Well, there was actually a physical orb as well, right? That was kind of going that way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of checking off the map.
If we stop walking, does it like pause in the air and wait for us to follow it, or is it's just booking it?
It does not. It is just going. But you have you have the orb map, so you can tell if the orbs move.
I have a very important question, Michael Barlos.
Go for it.
So this orb that appeared, that is purple, is it very similar to the, I can't remember if it was white or blue, but the orb that appeared after Teth had lost Moth after the Battle of Sorrow?
Ooh. Yeah.
An orb. Yeah. That's cool.
Totally. I forgot that happened 100%. But yes, it would be within the same umbrella. I think that actually Teth, because that's kind of like a core memory to your character. Make a perception check at. Let's try and fuck you as much as we possibly can. Just get you in the worst possible state of mind. Roll perception for me at advantage, please.
Okay. 25.
There we go. Yeah, you know without a doubt. It is of similar size and makeup to the orb that you saw that same night. It operates, it moves, it is made up of the matter that makes it up. It is all uncannily similar, almost jarringly so to you.
That's cool. Man, I don't know if Teth would ever have had a reason to talk about it, but I'll think about
Maybe
that. Yeah, I'll think about it though.
Keep up, Smith. I will not trust Facebook links from now on. Discord.
Nope. Peep up likes doggy.
All right. You're going to just start walking that direction and see what happens?
Hell yeah.
I mean, I'm all for like going like I don't know, a mile away from this place and just setting up camp.
Yeah.
Great. Let's do that then. With your, you rolled above average with your 266 out of 500. So you, the wilds is strangely calm compared to the kind of buzzing energy it had on your trip down. It seemed like things were happening quite regularly before, and you have reached some sort of lull. So you can easily get about a mile and a half out, and you can begin to set up camp. What are you all doing to wind down for the night?
I have something.
Mhm.
Teth is going to go over to Zethlo and just fill him in. I think he started to kind of tell him about what had happened. And Zethlo is very familiar with the whole protocol that's installed inside of Teth's body. But essentially, Teth is going to ask Zethlo if he can do a couple of like routine checks or like, take a peek essentially.
Okay.
Since he still feels off, but he feels better than he did 2 hours ago. But it's also, seems like it's temporary.
Yeah, he will, and I suppose any of you that are not indisposed or are interested in what's going on with Teth, you could watch this. There's nowhere really for Zethlo to go in private to open Teth up. So he's just going to do it right there on the ground. You'll see him flip a few switches on his wristlet, where you saw his construct emerge from and go back into. He has like a portable workbench that he kind of unfolds. He can set Teth down onto there. Teth is far too big for this bench, but at least it gives some support for Zethlo to work. He'll lay you down on your back, Teth, and ask you to turn onto your side. And there are several panels on your chest and kind of where a normal humanoid's rib cage would be, that he opens up, and you can all see that inside of Teth is strangely different than you would think. He is not made of mostly wires and metal. He is there are large pieces inside of Teth that are hollow. A lot of those places, Teth would know, contained organic matter. A lot of that was what Bell removed back in Mir. Zethlo kind of looks around, makes sure that all of the technical things are in place. He gives you a clean bill of health in that regard, Teth, that everything that should be in place for you mechanically is in place. You and Zethlo both know that that was not the problem before, and it likely is not the problem now. He will move up to your neck area, kind of the neck, the base of your skull, your metal skull area, and open that up and look in there. He will be at work here for a little bit longer, actually. This is more densely compacted with wires and different kind of artificial synapses and things like that. And this is where he will kind of take a breath, put his working glasses up on his forehead, and he'll put a hand on your shoulder, Teth, and he'll say, "You've always had a good sense about these things. I think you're probably right. It's about time."
It seems sooner than normal, I think.
Well, he'll kind of not necessarily shrug. He doesn't want to be reductive, but he'll say, "We both know it's always fluctuated depending on how involved you've been. Seems that now you just have to start slowing down a bit. Or you and I can go back to the Eterna and start the process now."
How long does it? Because I mean,
Urzak's gonna butt in.
I was wondering if anybody else is
He's
like
excuse me.
absorbing this.
I hate to intrude, but perhaps my curiosity's gotten the better of me. The Eterna process.
so
Yeah,
It's funny.
Zethlo will he knows this is not his story to tell. He will defer immediately to you, Teth. So he'll allow you to tell as much or as little as you want.
It's funny, right as you're getting ready to say something, Billy, as you were saying it, I was about to adjust the group, so it was very well timed. So, I think we've talked briefly, even though it has been some time. The Eterna is a group that I work with. You've met one of the members, Gail. And there are, at least, last I checked, it's been probably many months by now, but last I spoke with Gail, Ramsey was doing well. He was the same as myself and Gail, part of Killcaster units. The procedure that Zetho is talking about is essentially to kind of do a hard reset of sorts. These, and then Teth will point to like some of the runes that are, or some of the words and stuff that kind of were flaring up during that last battle. These were installed as a protection, a barrier, something to both notify and keep me from going completely berserk. I don't know the technical aspects of it, but I know that they were installed, or I suppose etched at some point. But It's kind of more of a failsafe than anything else. As far as the process itself goes, I don't know. I mean, it kind of varies. It varies from time to time, but I'd say maybe every 10 years or so, it usually has to happen. And then Teth will kind of look at Z-Flow, kind of looking for a little bit of clarifying information as far as the procedure.
Yeah, Z-Flow will step forward and will say, give or take a decade. The last time it happened was about 8 years ago. Teth doesn't lose any of his memories or anything like that, but it just gives him a higher threshold for stimulation or mental wear and tear. Essentially, these symbols, these words etched into his body, are acting as a fail-safe. If he gets too close to his limits, his mental limits, those can ignite and give him a little bit of extra time. And once they all ignite, as they seem to have done down in the basement there, it's time for a little rest and relaxation.
All right. I if the procedure is not to, I, as a being who's nearing the limit of his brain's expected lifetime, it's a simple fact of anatomy and physiology that certain species are built for different lifetimes. You know, liches occur at some point. Something just for a lust of power, but at some point, physical transformation is required to prolong one's life. If obviously you didn't design and deploy Teth as a unit originally, uh, during these procedures, have we ever looked into alternate means? I hate to say, but uh, aside from the killing rampage and all of that, which, in all fairness, is something he was designed to do, uh, he was calling us all by different names, friendly names to him, thankfully. But why haven't you? Sorry, it's a little rude to phrase it that way. Uh, what efforts have you made for a longer term solution than this? It just seems like a stopgap.
At first, it was, absolutely. First time we had to do this, we didn't even really know what we were doing. It was absolutely a bandage over the wound. But then, as we did it more and more over those first few years, we learned how to work through, really, Teth's divinity rather than Teth's mechanical being. And from there, the durations Teth could go without needing a reset got longer and longer and longer. At this point, I hate to admit that I am not the expert that he needs, but if it's becoming shorter again, I fear that I might be getting too old to be that innovative. For a permanent solution to mitigate this completely, we might have to enlist our old friend Teth.
I mean, I'd be lying if I wouldn't be interested in a long-term solution, but I also know that it's gotten more manageable, so I was kind of hoping that it would be less of an issue, but yeah, you might be right.
It's
I-
also entirely possible that this is just caused by direct contact with a deified object. Do you have an artifact implanted inside of your body, Teth? That has the possibility of mitigating any of these factors, but it also has the possibility of rapidly exacerbating them.
thought you said that his forget how you phrased it, but his interaction towards the divine was having positive effects.
Sure. Through the channels that he has been using for centuries. He and I both are in our infancy as far as direct contact with an orb of the Presidium. That's about as raw an object as you can get as far as power of the gods. I'm sure your half-elf friend over here could confirm that.
Is the orb something we've detected for divination school of magic? Like, is that just common
What do you mean?
sense? I mean, like, you can see the aura in the schools of magic when you detect magic.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be like evocation magic or anything like that.
When it has happened before, it's like blinding lights. It's hard to discern because it's so powerful. You would assume that there's a healthy combination of a lot of different schools or all different schools, just because it is essentially the essence of that deity, and they would have the ability to use power across the entire span of what a mortal would be able to use. So if you were to cast detect magic on the orb of the Presidium, you would just be blinded with light, indistinguishable.
As opposed to looking at Taurus inside of the blade of Lindis, he's very weak and we would barely see any magic. I'm just kidding.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, it would still pop, but he's quite weakened, and he's also kind of a lesser deity. These are like the orbs of the prime deities of the pantheon.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens if you don't?
I had another question too.
Yeah.
So, like,
Okay.
the runes that are on Teth's body, are they uncommon, or are they legible to everybody in the party?
Did we decide they were celestial, or am I hallucinating that? Is that a fever dream?
I can't remember. I don't remember talking about that, but I'm fine letting you make that decision right now.
Let's see. Uh, 1 to 50, it's common.
What?
Come on. Nope,
You
celestial.
I'll just say I don't know. I don't know what he said, but it sounded like he just ran in the room and said, "I poop."
That's what I thought.
All right, here, leave this up.
Archer, tell us all about your
Don't
poop.
touch it with your hands. Just talk into it.
Don't worry, Archer. One
was it
day you'll
hilarious?
have to take fiber because it's good for you. You'll know all about poop.
Was it a
Are you
sticky
still
poop?
playing with Mama and Auntie?
Everybody poop.
Oh, you're making
Everyone in
cookies? What kind of
Palmino
cookies are you
knows
making?
now because of
making
the sewage
turkeys.
law.
You're making
Nice.
turkeys.
Dude, I want to make cookies. Sounds good, man.
Are you using chocolate chips?
What are you doing?
Up down.
All right, say bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye. Happy pooping.
Go check on our.
And don't
Yeah,
trust
you're on.
Facebook links, Archer.
Is this empty?
Good job pooping, buddy.
Yeah. I remember when I used to get congratulated for pooping.
Oh yeah, we're a big congratulatory household right now.
You poop every
Positive
day.
positive affirmations.
I give
Oh,
in
yeah.
our in our 20-30 year guys. We'll get congratulated again for pooping.
Mhm.
In the toilet.
It'll come back around.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all
Right.
cyclical for sure. Yeah, we're at the point now where he pretty much doesn't have accidents anymore. Like he'll tell us when he has to go potty, but he needs privacy. So like we'll go into our bathroom and we'll pull our like the shower curtain around in
Yeah.
front of him because he won't go to the bathroom without privacy. And so now he doesn't say like I have to poop or I have to go potty. He just looks up at us and he's like, I need some privacy. We're like, okay, let's go. Let's go. We're
I
good.
need some privacy.
Like you can see it on his face too. It's just like a little bit of strain and just like I need some privacy. Okay. Let's go. Go.
And a little licorice root.
Yeah.
That's right.
What?
Andrew
where
had
were
a
we?
question. He was
Right.
asking.
Yeah,
I think he was going
Andrew.
to ask.
What happens if we don't get this done in time?
Well, plain and simple, Teth might attack all of you.
And with any luck, we'll just shut down.
It's kind of
Right,
what I figured,
yeah.
but I thought I'd ask.
He'll roll a sanity check, super low. He will turn on you, absolutely. Natural 20, he just
And it-
decommissions.
and it will be super low.
Yeah.
I hate to ask this. I know it's
And don't.
insensitive, but it needs to be said. What has Teth ever had a complete reset?
Just so I know what you're asking. Yeah, a complete reset to like
Wipe all of his memories and everything.
Hillcaster, like go back to his primary
Factory
function.
settings.
Reset.
If that's what it means, then
In a number of words, Zethlo will essentially say no because of the fear of that happening. We do a complete reset. The chances of all of those directives just being the like that being the default setting. Anyone that was involved in any of his reconstructions in the past would have agreed that the risk is too high for a complete reset. But it has been considered before.
let me just logically speaking, of course. I'm not a caster. Maybe, with the exception of Brackle, we're not
Sure.
casters.
Not your average caster. Yeah.
Teleport away.
I,
Safe.
if our option is Death kill everybody or Death kill casters, I know. Once again, logically speaking, one of these things we're actively doing. We just did 20 minutes ago, right?
Yeah, just let him go.
Why are we speaking like that? This is not in our favor.
Yeah,
Obviously, I'm not suggesting right now we wipe him clean. This is our friend. I don't want to lose my friend. But
But maybe we quench his thirst for blood if the day comes, you know?
Eric stands next to Urzak at the idea of killing casters. So he's like, just nodding.
Yeah, absolutely. Zithlo, he'll respond and say, I have thought about that before. I'd be lying if I said it didn't cross my mind. I think that's a choice that Teth himself would have to make.
I think we should exhaust maybe some other options first, but
obviously, like I said, I'm not
Could be,
trying to lose a friend.
could we build a thing that if Teth starts raging, Vern walks into the conversation. By the way,
you're taking a piss.
that it could just like
Shut him down.
it could just warp him to some like rage room. He can just like break shit and then come back when he feels better.
He does have magic, though. I don't know if he's capable. But Teth, I don't know if you're capable of teleporting, but
What about involuntary wind walk? So he just becomes vapor, and then he's swinging at us, but it's just like.
To be clear,
Yeah.
I think he needs more R&R than rage and repercussions. But
sometimes it's one and the same.
The one thing I'll say, which I think kind of ties into a little bit what Vern's talking about, is some of the concern that I have with the complete reset is, well, first of all, I no longer have organic material. I don't know what that would do. I was originally constructed with organic material from K2, who was a cyborg essentially. The other thing is that, assuming that all goes well, I don't think that I would be at that point a weapon as opposed to an ally, if that makes sense. An ally through, I guess, a certain means to an end. But I think at that point I'm just a shell.
once again, not actually suggesting we do this.
Yes.
Inquiring about your past, but I like Vern's idea. I like Zito's idea that we just continue doing this. But when you say it's quicker than before, what's the time frame we're talking about here?
About a decade, typically.
And how long since your last at this point?
About 8 years.
I know you're old, but that's quite a long time for the rest of us.
Yeah.
How urgent does this matter? Because
we're in the middle of the wilds.
Conceivably, we do have the means to do this. I'll turn up at Brackle. But
I think that even if we wanted to do it this very second, I think it would still take time to get the stuff that we needed and the help that we needed.
Mhm.
I think it's probably more of a sooner than later thing, but there are there's other preparations I believe that need done with Z-Flow and potentially the Eterna and outside of that. So even if we wanted to do it right this very second, I don't think we could.
Oh,
There's always, and Vern will just set a deck of cards down on the stump in front of everybody.
Eric wants to look at Teth and ask, or a Z-Flow too, but like, so this lack of organic from K2,
Mhm.
is that something that I could inspect, and I want to see if I detect disease to see why it's wasting away?
Oh, it's not. I guess I should have specified a little more. It was removed by Bell whenever the orb was installed. The orb of power. There was a lot of that she had essentially cleared out.
It's just rotten because it's been so long.
No, like the organic material was removed from my torso.
To make space, physical space for.
Oh, okay,
Is that
got
right?
it.
Okay.
Yeah, at least that's the way that I interpreted it at above game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, if you're lucky, Bell still has it.
I mean, I just have the spell slot, and we're gonna long rest. I'm just
Maybe.
She strikes
thinking.
me as the type that would keep things in bottles and jars. And,
Jars, yeah.
oh, yeah, for
There's
sure.
a whole second
knows
level
what's
of
in
that
there.
tower. Stuff in. Yeah,
And
Serious hoarder.
big tanks full of body parts.
can Eric do that anyway? Detect disease within 30 feet. Anyone would ping any disease, poison creatures. I think I'll
Yeah,
just do that.
Yeah.
I think that's probably. I won't ritual. I'll just cast it,
Yeah.
so it's just happening.
So you're casting detect disease.
Poison and disease.
You could still find something, but Teth is so fucking immune to disease. It's stupid.
Oh,
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
But it could be.
Like
It
many
could be
layers
that one.
of disease. Yeah. Presence and location of poisons, poisonous creatures, and diseases within 30 feet of you. Also identify the kind of poison, poisonous creature, or disease in each case. Wow, this is a DM nightmare.
Yeah.
The kind of disease? What? For a first level spell. Dang.
Could you have like AI disease, like an artificial disease? Is there stuff that like
Yeah,
do I got
a virus.
do I got a
You got a
virus?
virus.
Got some real bad malware or something going on?
Yeah. The casters have hacked your system.
Yeah.
I'm going to roll a D100. Let's see if you do detect anything. Certainly none of the people that you're traveling with are diseased or poisoned, but it is up to 30 feet, so who knows what's buried under the ground. Let's take a look.
Bagels definitely has like right?
So you get some truth serum in your pockets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have truth serum. That's a poison.
I've got some willow shade oil in my pouch.
88. That's a pretty accurate read. You are not detecting anything that is poisoned, no poisonous creatures, and no diseases within 30 feet of you.
Believe it or not, Brackle
Right.
doesn't have any poison.
Nice.
I don't believe it because I believe it because Andrew said it. I don't believe it because it's Brackle.
You should believe it because Eric just cast it and would have detected it.
Oh yeah, I guess
12% unaccountable.
Poisons.
Accounted for, though. So.
poisonous
about-
creatures. I think somebody has Dream Lily actually. I can't remember.
Oh,
I think I gave somebody Dream Lily.
I do, yeah, in my pouch.
Yeah, if you have anything that registers as a poison in your inventory, Eric would know about it. But I'm assuming There are no outside of the people in your party. There are no external sources of poison or disease that you find.
Okay. Is poison ivy leaves, poison oak leaves, dream lily,
Dream
Uh,
lily, definitely.
truth serum.
I think technically truth serum is a poison. Yes.
Wolfsbane.
It's more of a component, I believe.
Yeah.
We kind of wrote that in based on that herbalism kit.
Sour grass, maybe
Yeah.
a small amount poisonous.
I mean, yeah,
A
we don't.
large poison.
You have poisons on you. You're an herbalist, so you're gonna have
Yeah.
poison. You're gonna have poisons on your person.
Gotcha.
That's not a shock to you, I don't think.
I like to imagine.
Pretty shitty herbalist if it was.
I like to imagine like Eric.
Wait a
Eric is,
second. What?
he's like talking to Teth and like casts a spell and is gonna say something profound and then just like zones out and like starts pulling out component pouches.
I can't believe these are all poisonous.
Like-
What the?
Well, I'll be damned.
I thought this was just juice.
It's like, well, okay, that makes sense with Bell. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Zethlo will kind of sum it up, saying that he believes, based on his knowledge and his history with Teth, that he can push a bit further. It's not something that is so pressing that you need to stop everything and do it right now. But he would give you a best guess, if it's done within the next few months, all will be well.
Oh, how many glyphs do we remember seeing lit up on Teth? Out of how many glyphs?
All of them.
All of it, because judgment was
There was.
yeah.
Yeah, there's 10 total.
Although I can't read the celestial technically, Mike.
So, hey, correct me if I'm wrong. So all of these things light up, and then he just goes into sleep mode. It's basically what it's designed to happen.
He essentially the last one lit up on the last kill he had, and that was like the ballast is full at that point. Much more past that, without like some diffusion time, and he would have started raging more than you saw him raging in the prison.
Okay, well, I guess I've always wanted to spar with Teth.
That's true. That's
Just
true.
hold him down. Hey, at least you know I'm completely hollow though now. Easier to push around.
I don't agree with that sentiment, but
If anything, that's scarier because you're so heavy and you're hollow. Like
that's why.
wait,
That's
man.
actually was kind of my idea too. For since the beginning of time, it's like that's why he's so tall, but also still only like 400 pounds, right? Theoretically, if you have somebody like even a human, if you have a human that's like 7 foot, they're so much bigger than you think that they would be weight wise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, you say that, and Teth's gonna fucking start packing lead in his stomach.
Yeah, he's gonna start picking up rocks in the desert here.
Filling himself with ball bearings.
I weigh 3,000 pounds now.
You'll never take me.
All right, well, thank you for sharing. I think perhaps we address that after
Mhm.
we get out of the wilds.
What set you off inside of the prison?
Good question.
Gold
I
chain.
think it was. I think it was just. It kind of. Whenever, how do I describe this? It's not like something specific that sets me off, like a trigger or like a code word or anything like that. it's more of a little things compounding over time, and then it just
It was the drop that broke the cohesion that was holding the glass of water together.
sure.
And only not murder people for so long.
Yeah, it's
Especially,
actually just on a timer.
I'm just
especially
glad
when
he
they
can't.
piss me off.
It's good
Or I
he
have
can't
to
lick his
fucking-
lips.
Smite
If I
Ben
had-
Shapiro on the face with my fist.
Yeah. I mean, that was kind of a very early taste of it. If I had to guess, it was probably Thane.
Gotcha.
So,
Well, I need to go to sleep. I'll take a early watch. Or I should say
What?
early morning watch.
Okay. I'll do the first watch.
also, something for everybody to think about. This process does take time, so you will be essentially down a person during that time. So, something to just keep in mind.
Will do.
I once again, you say it takes time, but after you have everything together and all the people present and you start the process, how long are we talking?
Uh,
A few
I will
weeks.
defer to the DM, but I was going to say like 2 or 3 weeks, right?
It's not like we haven't taken breaks that long before.
It's true.
Yep.
All right. Who wants first watch?
I'll take first watch.
Okay.
Zethlo will take, or not Zethlo, sorry.
Theoretically, how many watches will there be in total?
You can. You only need 6 hours of sleep, and some of you not even that much. So, a watch would be an hour and a half, 2 hours ish. So you need 4 of them essentially. Hargrave can also help her by herself if you need her to. Halbered cannot. Coil cannot. Peepip cannot. Zethlo could take a watch by himself too. So if you need to fill holes somewhere, you have 2 NPCs that are able to alert the party to danger.
I'll do.
But the
I'll
other
do
3
first
could
watch
stay up
with
with
Brett.
one of you. Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll take. We'll just call it like I don't know, 8:30 p.m. So we'll go 8:30 to 10:30. Brackle and Vern. The next one. I don't know who wants to take the next watch. We'll say Urzak goes last.
I'll go 2.
I'll go second to last. Can I meditate the elven trance with my familiar owl for the first several watches?
Yeah.
Like sleeping, but I still have the familiar going.
Great. Yeah. So you all enter your however you rest. We have enough different species here that you all kind of rest a little bit differently. But that leaves Vern and Brackle alone around a fire if you make one, and you are watching out into the wilderness. Is there anything that either of you want to do with your light activity before you go to sleep?
Are there any
Well,
things we.
Does
You
anyone
go
need
ahead. No, you go
water?
ahead.
Does
Well,
Peepup
let's see,
need
I'll
water? or
cast.
anything?
I'll cast bonfire, so we have a bonfire.
Does
besides
Peepup or any
that-
other travelers need water?
I'll probably take some water.
Yeah, I'll take a hit of that.
Yeah, let me create destroy water. I mean, create. Just the spell's called that. Sorry.
You bring this bucket of water up and then just destroy it in front of our face. Wow, thanks, Claude.
Um, so my container is going to be my Coralon's golden basin.
Okay.
So I'm just
Nice.
going to whip that out, and then produce up to 10 gallons of clean water. I'm not sure exactly how big that basin is, but imagine it's pretty big.
Yeah, I don't know. A 10-gallon gold basin is probably very
That's
heavy.
huge. Yeah, that's fucking huge.
Uh,
But also, it has something where, I could do hot stew, right? If I stir that water for a minute.
it's true.
So I'll say, if you guys want water, just make sure you don't stir it. Drink first. If you want stew, stir it, and then it'll turn into stew, hot stew. Just, when you're ready,
Just be careful.
then stir. Yeah. Get your water first, then you can. Okay.
Thank you very much. Or, not Eric.
Was Tef the one that had the apparatus that
Potions.
potions?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too.
I can
Yeah.
start identifying things if we need.
I have a regular healing potion. You have 2.
Yeah, I can do that on
If nobody has
watch.
bigger or better healing potions.
Oh, I don't think I
Sounds
do.
like they don't.
Mm-mm.
All right. Now the proud
Don't
owner
think
of 2
so.
healing potions, Death.
Wow, it's a regular, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
I drank the big boy down there and immediately didn't get hit for the rest of the time.
Does anybody need anything identified?
I think so.
Mm-mm.
The deck of many things.
What does this
Yeah.
one do?
I need you to
How
identify
about-
what's on the bottom of these cards. Please pick one. Pick one is at a time.
There was a ring of regeneration, I think. I don't know if you already identified it though. There was a ring of regeneration. Then there was Maxine's sword, which I had some notes on, but I don't know if we actually identified them. If that makes sense.
I think we
Never
identified
actually
them at some point, but yeah.
Yeah, Maxine's sword is just a +1 longsword that allows you to cast. I had it written down somewhere. It allows you to cast Misty Step.
Yeah, I had it as
I can't remember the amount of charges, but it's just a fey longsword essentially.
Okay. I'd
But
probably.
I don't know that there's anything that needs to be identified. I think I made it pretty identify light within the prison. Those are the only 2 things that you guys really got.
I also
Mhm.
have party loot around the same time as the Maxine stuff, and it says 2 potions of healing. Don't know. I'm guessing they're just regular potions of healing. But I don't know if anybody had that as well.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Carry on.
I don't think those are the ones I have in inventory.
Yeah, it was like that thing where like we're in the middle of a dungeon and it's like, well, don't want to break it up now, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I will say that I don't think any of the potions have been identified, but they were.
Yep.
We just said that they were potions of healing. So if you want to, you can. If you don't have to.
So, Vern, what's kind of the history of your parents?
That's
We only have 2 hours? Wow.
well, that's a very good question. My father was always a mysterious man, but so I don't I don't know as much about him, but he came from a lot of just old money wealth, passed along uh, through the generations. My mother, Lyra, uh, and I hope this is still okay because when I made her character, I kind of went this direction with it, but she was actually an elven pirate, so came from sort of a different background, but very skilled on ships. Also accumulated wealth, but just not in the probably the most kosher of ways. And then they came together, pooled all their wealth, pooled a few other things, and you got me, Vern.
Nice. Seem to be pretty excited about your heritage and house marks and all of that. So, were your parents or part of your family kind of involved in any historical settings or decision making stuff like that?
Um, they tended to not get super political about things. My parents are both pretty modest, so certainly donations were made to charities and such and all of that. But um, no, they were good people. They invested their money modestly and never to manipulate others or try to steer even more fortune their way. They were already rich in money and love.
Gotcha. How
How
did
about
they
you?
come to?
I'm doing all this talking. What about your
Oh,
your
it's just,
family?
family. A lot less love and a lot less known about my family, unfortunately. Uh, when I was very young, uh, you know, under 3 years old, my parents took off. They worked together, and there was an accident where they were working, and they ended up never coming back. So I was moved out to uh, my uncle's home in Ismail, and just had a pretty simple life mining out there. And um, no, it was I wouldn't say it was tragic or anything like that, but yeah, I just never knew my birth parents, I would say, and just pretty much had a father figure in Baron.
Mm.
I'm pretty sure I remember that's his name that I made up.
Yeah.
My
Um,
my time with my parents was cut short as well, so I totally understand. But I respect you for finding comfort and fulfillment in the mining life and getting your hands dirty and making a way for yourself. That's impressive.
oh my! It wasn't without help. I definitely had people I looked up to, and not so much advisors, but you know, life coaches, I guess, would be a hippie way of saying it. But um, yeah, I had help in different ways. You had wealth and the life that came with, but I had people that also helped me along. So I did feel I never wanted for anything. So
Good.
we all get help in some ways or another.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did your parents come to pass?
Oh, it's on my 10th birthday, I think.
Who knows?
Yeah, something like that.
A
Um,
birthday.
yeah, they were assassinated from what I saw. I mean, I didn't really get a great look. I was kind of pushed away from the crowd gathering, but I think it was poison or something like that. I mean, they had their fair share of enemies. My mother being an elf, their the way they use their money, the just often sort of viewed as like a splotch on the aristocracy of Charvassus.
When this happened in public, or At your home?
Well, it was in the home, but it felt pretty public. There's a big crowd there. You know how people are, and I want to say that they were all there because they were excited to see me, but I imagine most were just there to keep up appearances and you know
Eat
rub
free
shoulders.
food.
Get free food. The food was fantastic. Uh, until after the whole death thing, then it all
Yeah.
kind of tasted not as great. But
Were there any leads on who did it, or
I have my suspicions. I knew a few of the families that were particularly opposed to my parents, but at the time I was just a kid. I was just trying to sort of run away and hide from all that. I busied myself with my tinkering and just tried to find an escape. I mean, I felt pretty powerless, so I didn't pursue the investigation, so they say, until I would argue that the case has gone considerably cold.
is that something you'd ever look back to? Or is revenge not something you think about much anymore?
Oh, I try to be positive and look at the future and not dwell on those things, but uh, I don't know. I think there's still that air of mystery, but if I did ever get more specific intel as to who was responsible and what all went down, there, who's to say how I might react in that situation?
Well, if you ever do want to do that, and if I am ever able to get back into the caster compound, who knows right now, but I can see if there's any information on the investigation and see if there's anything we could dig up.
I'd appreciate that.
Who knows where I stand, to be honest.
I ask myself the same thing. You're a man of mystery, Brackle.
Hey, it's
But I feel like
intrigue.
you're I feel like you're in my court, so I appreciate that.
I do keep things pretty tight, but I will say that I'm definitely in anybody's court that's in this group.
Mentally, Vern has moved Brackle from coworker to friend. Just FYI.
There you go. I got it. Yeah, honestly, I think if I don't know. I don't know why. I don't think I'm good enough at deceiving. Um, I want to. Why do I keep wanting to say Crowbar? Who's the head of the casters right now?
Cerberus.
Cerberus.
Wait.
Thank you.
Crowbar. That's where he's been.
Cerberus is a pretty brilliant tactician, and I told him I'd go along with trying to stop all of these people coming in from that different plane and stuff. And I don't know why he made you guys criminals, but it's strange that he just didn't throw me out to the wind as well. I haven't talked to him since we left, so I really can't tell where his mind's at right now.
Well, don't blame yourself for us being labeled as criminals. Personally, I find it all kind of exciting. This is first time really been out of the manor. Uh, I feel more empowered than I ever had before because of my newfound friends, because of a godly orb in my possession. So
That is
being
pretty.
criminals not so bad.
Yeah, you did just jump right into it. Gotta say.
Oh, because I have more of my mother in me. Air of adventure.
There you go. I mean, yeah, that's sure she had plenty of enemies as a privateer. If you want to be up about it.
Yeah, yeah. She did, but then she fell in love and sort of left that lifestyle. Um,
I don't figure somebody who would have met her on the seas would have killed them by poison. I'm guessing it would have been a lot more public and violent.
yes, yeah. Agreed.
But that's definitely poison's got money written all over it.
Mm-hmm. Cowardly though.
Yep.
Whoever uses poisons. And he kind of looks over at Eric sleeping over the but yeah, but thanks Breckle for, for asking me these questions and for offering to help me get to the bottom of things. Once all this quiets down, your position will certainly be helpful. And I know I can trust you.
And just above table again, you're human, right?
I'm half elf.
You're half elf, or right, half elf. Okay.
Oh yeah. So yeah, human, I guess.
So I'll ask you one more question for the night. But where does this dragon kind of ancestry come from? If your father's human and your mother's elf.
That's all you, Doc. We never talked
about
Yeah.
If it's a sensitive subject, I mean,
it's just it's one of those family mysteries spoken through oral tradition, so I think that it's kind of changed throughout the generations. There was talk that the popular story we're told as a kid is that our great grandfather was a dragon, but he sneezed so hard that all of his scales flew off, and we just were scaleless dragons from that day forth. But
wonderful.
I don't necessarily know if that's the true story.
Dragons can sneeze pretty hard. I don't know. Well, it's cool either way, I would have to say.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
And you don't have to be as ugly as Urzak, so it's
right. I'm glad someone said it. I didn't want to. I mean,
very
he's smart, right, and strong,
big and powerful. But yeah, just the God, that face.
Not pleasant to look at.
If that was wonderful, guys. If you are ready to conclude, will move on to Teth.
Dude, type in ugly dragon in Discord.
In the gifts.
The first thing that comes up, man. Fucking piss myself.
What? The blonde-haired one or the one that's flipping the cherry around with his tongue?
Both of them. Like, what the fuck?
This is a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reference.
The blonde dragon?
No, the cherry thing.
Oh,
the cherry. Yeah.
Yeah. Not that I've watched that show, but I know it.
Yeah. Sorry, I just had to share that.
It's good.
Oh, they got a One Piece reference in there.
Yeah. Second watch.
Seth, I'm gonna roll to see who stays up with you, because you talk to Zethel all the time.
Yeah.
How many do we have? 5. Well, I'll roll a d4. We'll not include Zethlo in there. Huh? You might be doing a lot of the talking. Peepup is going to stay up with you.
So what's your deal?
Yeah. So tell me about your family.
How did your parents die?
Yeah.
As you're kind of shaken from your sentry's rest, Teth, Brackle will come over and get you and change the guard. And you'll notice kind of as you're resituating yourself around the fire that Peep Up is still awake. You'll see kind of out of the corner of your eye that he is laying down, but his eyes are still wide open.
Hmm. I think initially Teth would just be like, well, I'm not going to go bug him. And we'll just kind of start getting into position and, start doing some rounds, looking around, doing his whole perimeter check, blah, 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 whatever he normally does for his watch before starting to set up the, what was it called? Crucible? Red Spark Crucible. Before starting to get that set up. And if he's still eyes wide open at
Eyes
that
wide
point,
shut.
yeah, I think he would go over and just say, "Do you need anything, Peep Up? Are you all right? Can't sleep?"
He'll look up at you almost startled, like he was. He definitely wasn't asleep, but he was kind of just zoning out. So he'll jump a little bit. He'll look up at you, and even though he doesn't speak, he, being a creature that is not human, you understand all too well how important observing what other people look like is, observing how people act can be. Just in your time learning how to assimilate into urban cultures and things like that. So even though he doesn't speak, the amount of language, the amount of communication that he can convey just with his expressions is quite profound. Like you and the rest of the party have already come to find out, he is not a stupid creature. He's not dumb. He just doesn't have the ability to speak. So he'll look up at you, and you kind of detect a hint of sadness almost. Not quite fear. I think he was largely afraid yesterday. Escaping that prison was a huge boost for him in that regard. He will sit up, and he'll just he'll look around for a stick or something. He'll find a sharp rock maybe, and he'll kind of just write in the dirt in common, husk.
Yeah, he. We had a conversation the night before, me and him. He knew what he was. And he knew what you were, and he knew that you didn't belong in that prison.
He'll nod. He'll he'll write on the ground again. Which you'll notice his handwriting is impeccable. He's just kind of trying to use shorthand to communicate with you quickly, but the actual symbols that he's writing are almost perfect in their format. But he'll say, He'll just write out was awake that night.
Ah. Well, you probably heard that entire conversation.
He'll nod.
He was doing his thing when we were in the prison down below. He was still alive. He was in a not a great situation, but we removed the threat, and I think that he will. I think he will fit in just fine down there. He showed no desire to. Well, I think his way of atoning was making sure that you didn't end up there.
He'll take an extra second to write a complete thought out, just so it's not misconstrued. He'll kind of look up at you and make sure you're still paying attention, and he'll write out, "I've been locked up for a long time."
Feels strange. I can imagine.
He'll write. Go ahead.
Does the freedom scare you?
He'll write back, "I'm anxious without constraints."
Yeah. I get that. Don't remember the exact time frame, but I believe it was 25 years or so you've lived recently in prison. Something like that, maybe longer. Imagine you
He'll
have
say,
become quite accustomed to those constraints.
he'll nod, and his eyes kind of, you see them glisten a little bit. He's not quite crying, but he's welling up a little bit. He'll write back, "Always guaranteed safety inside."
Yeah. Well, I know it's not any consolation, but for being in the middle of the wilds, you probably have the best group of individuals to be around you to help protect you. Although I know that that's not the comfort that you're probably looking for as far as safety, but um, I don't know if there's anything I can do to help, but if there is anything, I'd be happy to.
He will he will get quite excited at the mention of you helping him with something. He will say, he'll write out, "Brother in Cassis," and he'll keep pointing down to it.
Okay. Give me 1 sec. I need to actually type this out. I had no idea this was going anywhere. If I'm honest.
Neither did I.
Okay. Tethel will kind of look down and see that he has brother in Cassis. Do you want to be reunited with him?
He will nod his head vigorously.
Okay. This we can work with. So you want to be reunited. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why. His brother.
I want to reunite my fist with his face.
Yeah. I was gonna say he was the one who put Peep up in prison.
Yeah, you might never know. He's either there for reconciliation or murder.
Yeah.
The only two options.
The two. Yeah. It might take a little bit of time, and we're kind of making our way through the wilds right now. But I think that this is something that we can do. Some of the other individuals in the party are much stronger practitioners of magic that might be able to send you a more direct route at some point. But it would
I'll smile at that.
assuredly take a great amount of energy, but it is feasible if we can find the right opportunity to do so. So, logistically, above game, logistically, Cassis it's southwest of where we're at, right? Trying to remember what the map looks like. Yeah, but it's
Really, essentially,
considerable.
if you go towards the purple orb and then you just keep going and exit the wilds and then cross a river, you're in Cassis, which is an oversimplification, 100%. It's a long journey on foot, but it's in the same direction that you are already heading into.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll let everybody else know in the morning. I mean, we also don't want to drag you along. This is pretty dangerous territory that we're in currently. So there's a way that we can expedite you to where you need to go or where you want to go and keep you safe in the process, then we'll do what we can.
He kind of dropped the rock. He'll just kind of like give you he's saying thank you to you.
Yeah.
And then he will begin to lay down. It seems like he's a bit more calm after talking to you.
Good.
Anything else that you want to do mechanically during the rest of your watch?
Yeah. I'll I'll dump Urzok's healing potion into the red spark crucible, and let's see, and then dump in. Let's see. And then dump in some gold pieces to kick that off. So, which will pretty much take the rest of the 2-hour watch. So, but it's pretty easy to just put in there and let it do its thing. And yeah, I think that's it. Outside of making sure something doesn't eat us.
Nice. That moves us on to Eric. Eric Teth successfully switches with you for the watch. Before we get into anything else, is there anything specific that you would like to do during your time on watch? Or your time awake?
I just want to work on herbalism kit crafting.
Okay.
Also, the racial trait for elves is the trance. So if I'm just more observant on the watch and then using the last watch during Urzok's to do the work, I can do that
Yeah,
too.
that's fine.
I believe
Makes
I had
sense
the
for me.
familiar where I can channel my senses through the familiar. He's an owl, and
Mhm.
just have him circling around above us and keep an eye through that.
Give me an animal handling check.
Mhm.
If you roll high enough, I will allow you perception at advantage. Also, that's actually something that um, um, I don't think that's quite high enough. Certainly not disadvantage, but that's not going to get you anywhere with your perception. Roll perception for me, Eric. Vern, I wanna look into that as a potential next upgrade. There we go. That's a good roll for Zapdos. For you to be able to perceive through its senses, because he can communicate with you telepathically, but you can't like see and hear through him. So if you had like a visor, like we could make you a visor or like an earpiece or something,
Ooh,
and then
yeah.
some type of technological way to make that work. Install him with like the receiver or something, and you could see through or hear through his senses. Next time we do a little downtime, or if you have a day in a town or something, we can work on that.
Nice. All right. Can I have a monocle that I can look through?
Yeah, absolutely.
That way my blasty eye can still be uncovered, you know?
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
One eye is like mechanical and arcane with a gemstone iris, and the
Uh-huh.
other eye has a cool monocle on, like a lightning monocle.
Oh yeah.
What a cool guy! All right, with a 19 perception, Eric, your familiar does detect some movement. It's not clear whether it is aggressive movement or anything else like that, but it does seem to be moving in a circle around you guys about 1.5 miles out. Just like, hi, baby. You want me to hold you? Are you going night night?
I'm up here.
Why did I come up here? I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons.
See the makeup.
Okay. Say hello to everybody again.
Hey, dudes.
Hey Archer.
Hi guys.
What's up, dude?
What were you doing downstairs?
Just the other guy was not there.
Yeah. Yeah. Billy's not there.
Were you making cookies?
You making cookies?
What kind of cookies did you make?
Once.
Not once. They were
Hot ones?
Hello. Hello.
Don't to your mouth. Put it in your mouth.
The guys.
What else were you doing downstairs with Mama and Auntie?
He was not there.
Billy was not there. You're right.
Yeah, he
Soon he'll
wasn't.
be there.
Soon he'll
Maybe
be
that's-
back. You're right.
Hello. Hi
Hello?
guys. Here's me there.
Did you do a good job?
Did you do a good job? Oh, click the
Did
mouse.
you get your privacy?
You feel like you need privacy?
Oh.
Okay. We already did that before.
You always got to have your privacy before you go on a long car trip.
We're still finishing up, okay? He's still playing.
We still have our
It's
18
okay.
Archer roll we have to find an opportunity to use.
Mm-hmm.
Get your milk.
Wow, how did you guys come back at the exact same time?
Yep.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Grab your milk.
I want to see some
know,
tears.
Mhm.
They're actually like they are spicy, but they're like
I love you, Harry.
the perfect amount of spice where you can just still eat probably the whole bag if you want to, and you're not completely dying.
Hmm.
Hmm.
They're definitely the spiciest potato chip I have
Heavy.
eaten, but it's not unbearable.
Hmm.
Sounds like a bag of heartburn.
Heartburn flavor.
So we've got movement on the horizon.
I'm sleeping.
I'm meditating, so
Sleeping right through whatever movement it is.
You
That's
know what I
weird.
thought of?
God.
I was gonna say when Peepup was talking about constrainment, it took all the willpower in me to not like just open up my like tough cage and just shove them in and just
yeah.
He'd just be like, now this is nice.
like,
We can help
this
you.
is working.
Home sweet home.
He and the
Perfect.
orbs kind of coalesce into one entity. Divine Peepa.
Yep, he becomes the sixth places Coralon.
Can Eric wild shape into giant eagle and then himself fly
Yeah.
out towards that movement?
You sure can.
Observing
do you-
from a distance as giant eagle.
Sure. Make a. What senses does a giant eagle have? Do they have any fun senses?
I think
I'm
they have
sure-
high perception, maybe.
They probably do.
I'm sure they do, or they have
They have keen sight, I think. I don't know if they
keen
have
sight.
like
Yeah.
dark vision or anything like that.
I
You're saying
would have
eagle or now?
I would have dark vision because that's inherent from Sea Elf. So I would retain that.
You retain senses in wild shape?
Retaining like feats. So unless it's based on the like anatomy, sea elves just have dark vision, and it's not like because of this type of eye, like because now it's a bird eye, it's not different. It's just it fucking wild
Gotcha.
shape is ridiculous. The wording. So
Yeah,
I
I
even
know that
have
it's
I even have like a swimming speed because it's not mentioning just because of your flippers or fins. Like I have a swimming speed as a sea elf.
Yeah.
I want to see the eagle just like
No
through
matter
the water.
Yeah, I
Diving down. Yeah. Yeah. So make me another perception check with advantage through the giant eagle. As
Sure.
the giant eagle, sorry.
So that would be plus.
+4.
Well, you retain your soft
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
Okay. So
That's wisdom. So I can use my plus 12
so your perception at
advantage.
advantage. Yep. Oh, at least it's two of the same good roll. Yeah, with a 21, you can stay pretty high up and still see this. It's definitely something underground, under the dirt that is burrowing. From up in the sky, it doesn't look like it's moving very quickly just because of the altitude, but it is quite a quick burrow. You would assume that it is faster than average for a burrow speed for a creature. If you watch it for a while, you notice that it, without fail, it hits the same points of its circle every time. It is burrowing in an absolute perfect circle with your campsite as the center point. This is about 1.5 miles out.
Protecting us.
All right, yeah, you don't know you can't see anything below the surface, so you don't know if this is antagonistic or if this is something that is trying to protect you. What you do know is when you exited the prison and found your campsite, there were no signs of any other creatures. It was totally calm. It appeared very safe. Nothing has attacked you yet. So this very well could be a safeguard of some sort. But you don't know. With a 21, you do not know.
Mhm.
I used all my worm creatures last week. No more worm creatures.
Oh,
I kind of want to have a bird versus the worm moment.
Very apropos.
Hmm. I want to get closer to one of the points where they come up along the path, but close enough with my dark vision to get a good nature check on the creature.
Okay. You have 60 feet?
60 feet dark vision.
Okay. So dipping just below 60 feet above the ground. Whatever this creature is, it never fully comes up out of the earth, so you never see any of its actual body. As you get closer, though, it does look like. Make a nature check to see
Does
what
like
it looks like to you.
1,000 worms.
Nice.
Well, okay.
But also kind of like looking at hints around it, right? Like the burrow itself or what kind of footprints
Yeah.
kind of thing it leaves. Yeah.
Sure.
Whatever.
So the track marks of the burrowing with a 21, you would conclude if you drop down to that altitude, so that your dark vision is actually assisting you. You would be able to tell that this is likely one creature, not many smaller creatures. It looks like one very wide creature burrowing in a circle around you guys.
Is it a medium size or anything like that?
Yeah, somewhere between medium and large. You would assume that it's a wide creature, not necessarily a very tall creature. But you don't know that exactly. It doesn't leave a very long trail where it's burrowing, but the actual track is pretty wide. It's much more broad than anybody in the party, except for maybe Teth. But it doesn't seem bulky like Teth. It's gliding underground.
Anything like a stingray for sand?
Sand ray.
That's what I'm picturing. That'd be cool.
Make a survival check to see if you can actually make out what the track would look like. The 13, you don't really have an inkling on what the makeup of the limb makeup or the body structure makeup would be of the animal.
Okay.
You just know that it's a relatively wide creature that has the ability to move quickly under the earth.
Oh,
They have a burrow speed that's above average, and they have the ability to stay within a concentric circle. Really, not a concentric circle. They have the ability to remain within the same circular path.
Yeah. So like enough intelligence for that. And as far as speed goes, like am I keeping up with them at 80-foot flying?
You are way faster. You're way faster
So I just
for
want to
sure.
gauge the speed.
Yeah, your
Um,
flying speed is much, much higher than their burrowing speed, for sure.
I'm sort of not getting like an aggressive vibe. They're not encroaching,
Nope,
right?
not moving closer at all. Not moving further away, but not moving closer.
Is anyone awake back at camp? I think we're all.
Let's roll my d4. We'll say, Peepup went back to sleep. So we'll say Hargrave for 1, Seathlow for 2, Coil for 3, Halberad for 4. Coil's awake.
Just the perfect one.
So you're welcome to go back and talk to your Weave Warden.
Coming back and sort of, I think it'd be kind of cool have the owl sort of like sight, wingman, right? Like just with me as the eagle,
Yeah.
and then as I'm coming to land in the sand, I actually shift back into myself in my
Animorph style.
normal
Yeah.
attire and robes. Oh yeah, Animorphs, that's badass. And then
That will make Coil jump. That will spook him for sure.
oh okay. It's just me, Coil. It's just Eric.
Oh. Okay. I didn't know you could fly. Or were a bird.
I can swim as a bird apparently too. Like just try to wrap your head around that.
That's strange. Just flying around then?
So, we're out in the wilds. Don't be alarmed.
Yeah.
We're not alone.
No, I'm always alarmed, so okay.
Yeah.
Wait, what? We're not what?
Yes, Coil. Go
We're
back
not
to sleep.
alone?
We're not alone. Go back to sleep.
No, I can't now. I can't now.
Can I
Why did you tell me that?
Can I give him something?
Now
from
I'm
my
awake for the
pouch?
rest of the night. Sure, yeah, you could try. What are you gonna give it to him?
Fucking Dream Lily. No, I'm just kidding.
Make him trip out.
see. Let's see here.
Here, take this LSD. It'll calm you down.
Yeah.
I guess I don't really, see anything that pops out as like a sleep aid. Silverweed leaf, mint
Yeah,
leaf, magical
just
palm root.
smoke
I
the
will
silverweed.
Oh,
I will give you
I do have a
agency
pipe.
to pick one of those. If you want to lock one of those in as a in-canon sleep aid for the rest of our campaign, you can
Ah,
decide one of those right now.
I think silverweed was actually used for something else.
I can't remember. That does sound correct, though.
We learn later on it's for wish spells, but
Oh, okay.
we assign it sleep.
I have holly. I have sprigs of holly
Perfect.
or mistletoe. I'll do holly.
Okay.
So I'm gonna
Flip
give
him some
him
holly
my
berries.
pollen pipe, and he's gonna smoke some sprig of holly. You're not against
Okay.
smoking oil, right?
I guess I've never thought about it either way. It's fine, I guess.
And I've been nothing but good to you since we saved you, and you trust me. This is gonna help you.
That seems like you're kind of speaking for me, but that's okay. Whatever. And he will take your pipe, and he will hope to calm his nerves with your holly berries.
Nice. Are there any plants nearby? Because let's see here. What is my pollen pipe?
It's pretty barren, but make another nature check just to see if you can snuff some out.
Another nature check. Well, I was just wondering because I think the pollen pipe has some effect. So it's like
Yeah, with a 22, there's some desert-esque plants.
a flower within 10 feet of the pipe blooms and turns toward the pipe while being smoked. Non-magical
Sure.
flowers that have died are brought back to life.
Yeah, with the 22, a ring of flowers just pops out of the ground. Dead flowers just come back to life and all turn towards oil.
Well,
It just
Which absolutely will heighten his anxiety.
imagine if I had Dream Lily in there. Hmm.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'll obviously like be really mindful of my familiar to keep an eye on that circling creature. For the remainder of the familiar's life. It was
Okay.
7 hours from when we, came into the prison where we went from that arena down to the lowest level prison.
It's probably almost done.
Pretty close, probably at the end of this rest and everything. Or
We'll just call it at the end of your segment. It'll just because that'll be 6 hours into the rest.
yeah.
So that makes sense.
Um,
Anything else that you would like to do during your time, Eric?
So yeah, look at the ingredients that I had there above the perception rolls. Um, Healing potions I know are made out of like the amanita mushrooms. There was a potion called Pepper Pepper made out of fire peas. And then there was Truth Serum made with sour grass and wolfsbane. And we can look at
Yeah,
look at our
you could
documents.
make
Yeah,
one of those. Yeah, you could make a quick batch of one of those, and it would be one use of one of those of your choice.
Okay. Can't I get like a rarity healing potion like with 6? I wonder. I think it just takes more mushrooms like for the potency or something.
Yeah.
That's what I would go with. I think I'll save the
Okay.
pepper and truth serum for later, but
Okay. Yeah. So you can make a rare potion of healing with 6.
well, I don't know if it's specifically rare with our document if we're referencing that specifically, but yeah.
I think that was. I know it's not the lowest level one because I think it was. I can't remember what we talked about exactly, but for
Yeah.
the purposes of keeping this
Yeah.
brief and not drawing it out,
Yeah.
I will allow a rare potion of healing.
Okay.
Whatever that is.
And let me know how many mushrooms to consume.
Superior healing. For all 6 of them.
All 6. Okay.
Or you could use 3 for whatever the uncommon one was. Greater.
I use 6. Yeah, I'll make a
Okay.
superior. And that's it.
Great. Yeah, you concoct your potion. You keep your owl out on guard. As long as you are awake, the creature out circling your campsite doesn't veer off course at all. It is moving in the same circle pattern the entire time until you move into deeper focus on your potions and you wake Urzak for the final shift.
Mm-hmm.
Urzak, you are awake now. Is there anything that you'd like to do alone or with anyone else for the next 2 hours ish?
So I'm gonna reach into my pack and pull out the deck of many things.
There we go.
The void.
Do it. Do it.
Deck of many things.
Player's soul becomes forcibly drawn from their body and confined to an object of the GM's choice. Trapped in this way, they're incapacitated. A wish spell cannot restore them, but will reveal the location of their soul, which one or more powerful being guards with their lives.
Yep.
Excuse me. Things that like a wish spell can't even touch. That's okay.
Wild.
Yeah.
Well,
That was
Wild.
that was the whole premise for the one Critical Role 3-shot, I guess it was the ending of the campaign there. Somebody drew that card.
Grog.
Just like
A grog. Yeah.
Yep. It's like, well, all right, we got to do this whole thing now.
Realistically, am I doing anything in my short rest or my watch?
Okay.
No, not really.
All right. Let's roll a D3 to see who's up with you. 1 for Hargrave, 2 for Zethlo, 3 for Halberad.
I guess I would have liked to have known that something was circling our camp. Guess it did Eric divulge that information?
I would assume that Eric would tell you that. Yeah.
I assumed you didn't.
Well,
That would be so funny. Well, Zach, I'm off to bed.
Nothing to report.
This is an interesting matchup. Zethlo wakes up with you. He wakes up just before dawn every day, so he's rising about halfway through your rest, or about halfway through your watch. Under the assumption that Eric does tell you about the thing that is circling the camp, is there anything that you want to do because of that, or in reaction to that? Yes.
Yeah. Brad walked away from his computer desk. So when Zethlo wakes up, say, take a minute or so, get your coffee, and you do your stretches when you're feeling able-bodied. Need your help with something.
He will produce from his pack a little saucer, and he'll kind of flip a switch on the bottom of the saucer, and just a cup just like forms like 3D prints up on through the saucer. He'll pour coffee out of his wristband into it. I'll just take some sips, very casually. I'll say, "Of course. What can I help you with?"
There's something that's been apparently circling our camp for hours. And Eric barely told me before he passed back out. Whatever the hell else do. I want to take a look. I'd rather not do it alone.
Well, off we go then. And he will begin just walking out of camp.
I'm gonna give Teth a knock on the head too.
Yeah.
Just say we're trying to check something out. It's about a mile out. Just be aware.
Okay. And
C's coming with me.
I'll keep an eye out.
And yeah, I guess we're gonna I would just walk in a straight line to the outer ring.
Yeah.
I'm trying to what's the radius on Or what's the circumference on something that's a mile and a half out? And then how fast is this thing going, and how long do we wait until it comes back around?
Well, it's a visible track in the dirt. So once you get there, you know where it's passing through.
Right.
You would at least know where to stop.
I'm just trying to make it a middle school math problem.
Yeah, I'm I'm trying not to do that.
Yeah, I guess we'll go out and kind of approach the ring as best we can. I would say maybe 100 feet out from where it passes, and then just wait for it to come around and get a better look.
Okay.
I also want to ask if we still saw, during the daytime at least, those figures in the distance.
You did. I believe it was addressed the last time during the last session that you still saw the creatures in the distance, but there was one creature less than there was before entering the prison.
Right.
Can't see anything right now, but it's very dark. Zethlo will. He's still sipping on his coffee most of the way out there. For an older person, he moves at quite a clip, though. He walks very fast. At some points, this ground isn't totally flat. There are points where you're walking up a scale. And even on those points, it seems like he is almost outpacing you. He doesn't really lose anything when the trek should be harder, walking uphill.
He's got moon boots.
Yeah, I suppose you would assume at this point that he has kind of a contraption for whatever. If he has coffee available just in his wrist at all times, he has to have other things that are more important than that.
Make old being easier.
Yeah. He will turn to you before you get to the rim, and he'll ask pretty bluntly, but not in a rude manner. It just seems very direct. He'll say, "How old are you?"
Old enough that I have to think about it. We just passed 80 a couple months back. Unfortunately,
how does it feel?
Unfortunately, I can't relate too much with your physical duress, but I suppose we're all young children compared to someone like Teth.
It's no matter. He'll point to his head and say, "What really counts is up here. Anything that I can create to make my life easier all comes from the old brain anyway." Although, I would like just a few moments with 20-year-old legs again. That must be nice.
Certainly can't complain. Ask me how I feel about my mind in another 24, 30 years. See if it holds up.
I ask because I've been feeling my age recently.
And how old are you?
Maybe a few years older than you. Not by much.
I don't know many half gnomes. Is this you approaching life expectancy, or
Not much past humans. Maybe a few years here and there, but it's all circumstantial, as anything is. I'm worried about Teth. I've taken care of him, and he's taken care of me. It certainly has not been just a string of favors on my part. I think I might be getting towards the end of my time fixing him up. I heard what you said earlier about a permanent solution, and I've been thinking about that for a while. I can do what I normally do this time, but I'm not sure if I'll be here in the next 10 years. I have to pass that information along to whoever can help him next.
well, I am not going to volunteer for that simply because I know it's not my wheelhouse. I would be eager
I will.
to learn some things, but perhaps I could help with documentation, a fine penman, but perhaps uh, perhaps the Willoughby boy might be more your taste.
Herzog, I think my major failing over the last 40 years with Teth has been in my youth, mainly. Leading into my middle years, trying to keep him to myself. I think traveling with all of you has, yes, maybe increased the rate of progression for his condition. But also immensely slowed his mental deterioration. I see him caring for other creatures. And yes, I'm sure he cares for me, and I care for him back, but it's always been a partnership, even with the others at the Eterna. With Gale and the others, it's highly transactional. But with the four of you, with others like Dez, even creatures like Warwick, I see the mutual respect forming. That doesn't happen for him very often. I think that all of you are quite miraculous. I don't know that he needs to continue with one caretaker. I think that all of you could be a suitable replacement for me when I'm gone.
You see where you're coming from. I I appreciate your enthusiasm that the rest of us will outlive you somehow. If we get through this next year alive, we can have this conversation again.
That is a deal I'm willing to make.
That being said, uh, I just go see what's trying to kill us over this hill.
We'll say at
Wednesdays.
that point,
Wednesdays, am I right?
you
Urzak, watch that, creature with the wide tracks, the wide circle around us. I've got potions to make.
flashback to when Eric told
Yeah.
you.
We said you pissed off to do something, but yeah, I guess that makes good sense.
Yeah, we'll say that you reach the tracks at this point. You don't have to wait long. The creature, just as Eric told you, is burrowing right perfectly in line with the track ahead of you. It is very wide. Now that you're up close, you would assume maybe 6 or 7 feet wide. It's going at quite a clip. Make a nature check, please, Urzak.
Like how it's like, hey, make this check. Bomb.
Bomb. I cast bomb on it. Nature. Nature's intelligence. I'm just excited to learn that. 13.
13, not bad. You with a 13, you would assume that this, and I'm going to speak in table mechanics here, but Urzak would know this in whatever metric he understands this. You would assume that the burrow speed of this creature is between 25 and 35 feet. It is going quite fast. Not something that a typical humanoid can do. With 13, you would assume that this is likely a desert dwelling beast. More likely some type of earth-based elemental.
Okay.
But even with your proximity to it, it doesn't slow down. There's no sign that it is trying to stop. There's no sign that it even senses that you are there. It just keeps going, perfectly in line, with with no halting.
Okay. Yeah, I guess
Have I said too much?
if it doesn't attack us as we're in that proximity,
Yep. No attacks at all.
we'll make my way back to the camp. Oh, there is something. I don't mean to call you out on more homework. But I'm going to call you out on more of your homework. It was a collection of scrolls that I had acquired in the
Oh
Taurus
Yes.
Vault
yes.
to file through and see what we got.
Okay. I can give you a brief explanation of what those are, but I will do something more long form for you eventually.
Okay.
Did I ever stipulate how many scrolls you picked up, or was it just like clearing out things of scrolls? I can't remember.
So there was like a collection of Presidium lore, and then there was a collection of magical scrolls. And I
Okay.
want to say it was like kind of an absurd number. I want to say it was like 8 or 11 or something fucking dumb like that.
Yeah.
That being said, I don't 100% remember, but I remember being surprised at how much it was.
I'm gonna roll 2d8, and that's gonna be the amount of magical scrolls. Does that sound fair?
Roll 2 8s.
Not
That's
bad. Not
between the
bad.
two numbers you said.
9 is acceptable. Yeah. So unrolling those scrolls with the rest of your time. But actually, I'll leave it up to you. Would you like to look into the Presidium lore, or would you like to look at the scrolls? Because I think either of those
scrolls.
Looking at the scrolls. Okay. You can, with the rest of your time, we'll say that you take. I don't know. How much time does it take to walk a mile? 2 80-year-old men
20 minutes.
walking a mile, then
15
walking
minutes.
back.
30 minutes, 25 minutes.
30 minutes
And
to
then waiting
walk a mile?
Yeah, okay, 3 miles an hour. That's 20 minutes, right? They're probably a little bit slower than that.
Urzok's a 20-year-old man. Zethel's got space boots.
He said 2 80-year-olds.
I think my grandpa, who's actually 80 years old, can walk a mile in 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's 3 miles an hour. It's not slow. It's not fast. Slow.
Do we go off of like the walking speed, like per per action?
I'm not gonna do that math.
Also, Urzok's
That's
7 feet
Average
tall.
walking speed of
He's 7
an
feet tall. He's got
80-year-old.
he's got a long gait.
2.1 to 2.17 miles an hour is the average walking speed of an 80 to 89-year-old human.
We'll call it 20 minutes, distracted by conversation for Urzok's sake, and also waiting for this thing. So traveling both ways and waiting for the creature, observing it, turning around, and talking. We'll say you're gone for 50 minutes. You get back. That leaves 7 scrolls that you can identify, thoroughly combing through and figuring out what they are. So let's go through those.
Pull up in Yoshi.
Okay, so we have 7 scrolls. The first one you will identify is a scroll of Blink.
Okay.
You then have a scroll of. You have a scroll of legend lore.
Throw it away. We don't need it.
Yeah. Fuck me.
We'll just
You
sell it.
have a.
Ooh, what's on the
Yeah.
back of the scroll?
Let's use
Somebody should
legend lore to find out what is on the back of the legend lore scroll.
It is not of legendary
you-
importance. It has no info.
You have a scroll of private sanctum.
Privacy.
Nice.
I need privacy.
I had some privacy in my pants.
The scroll is shower curtain size.
Shower scare. Yeah. Just big plastic draping fabric. You have a scroll of remove curse. That's 4. Oops.
Was it? That would have been
You have
good
a scroll of sleep.
area.
Sleep is a cool spell.
Would be good for peep up later. Cast sleep on them.
You go to bed.
Yeah. You have a scroll of floating disc. Only utility, I guess, down in Taurus's lair.
That's fine.
And you have Almost all utility. You have for your 7th one a scroll of Ice Storm.
Nice.
Which is very on brand for Urzak. And then you have 2 other scrolls that you just didn't have time to knock out. But if you just glance over them, you're pretty sure one of them is an evocation spell, and you're pretty sure one of them is a necromancy spell.
Okie dokie. Yeah, that's it for my watch.
Cool. All right, you awake in the morning, and everything is still calm. Everything at this point, having already woken up once in the wilds, already spent one morning here. This now feels strange. For you to be here for this long without any type of interaction with anything else, it fills you with a bit of unease. It doesn't make sense to you. But there is nothing in your immediate area, so there's really no physical manifestation for the reason that you feel uneasy. Just the fact that you don't see anything. But Urzak, you can go around and wake the others, or wait until they wake naturally, and start your morning. What does your morning routine look like?
Start cooking some. I think we said this. Urzak doesn't like go around and rouse people. He just starts cooking some breakfast protein and lets the smell wake him. Sounds like popping grease.
Can I add to that by
Sure.
starting to cast Hero's Feast? So a casting time of 10 minutes, and then bringing forth a great feast, magnificent food and drink, and then, well, the feast takes an hour to consume.
Using your big gem crusted bowl.
Gem encrusted bowl. But 12 people, 12 creatures can partake.
Man, we gotta leave one of the horses out, or one of the either Apollo or one of the horses or elephants is left out.
Apollo doesn't really need to eat. So also, the bowl is consumed by the spell. So just so you are aware of that before you cast this.
Using it for these 24 hours, yep.
Which bowl are you using?
The Bull of Coralon? Or you use that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was going to say, what are
Do
you
you
doing?
remember right before chapter 3 we had the
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Eric did some
Did you do some
Deep sea diving? Yeah.
shipwreck diving, yeah.
Yes. Okay, Eric, roll 2d10. Let's see how much we are increasing everyone's hit point maximum. Why?
All right.
Well, that's
Average.
not bad.
That's average. Yeah.
Could be much worse. Everybody's hit point maximum increases by 10.
Yes.
Okay. How do we make that change here?
You on roll 20 or on your sheet?
Roll 20. Or do you need to be on it?
If you click
Beyond,
your-
you just
yeah.
click the temp
Oh,
space.
it's just temporary. Okay.
You
Well,
can.
Well, it's not temporary. It's an increase of your actual maximum. So
But
if
I could,
you
but I
click
could just
on,
like mentally. Okay.
Okay.
so if you click on your hit
Override
points,
max
there's an option override max HP, or you can just do an HP modifier and put 10 in there,
Ooh, okay.
and that'll add 10 to your max HP temporarily.
I click away and it doesn't do shit.
And now you're gonna.
Mine did shit.
Does this reset in a long rest? Oh, it does. Good.
You just have to hit enter after you do it.
Oh, okay.
Let's say if that does not reset, I will so forget that.
Oh, come on.
And it'll reset a long rest.
Cool.
Like
yeah,
that.
Heroes Feast.
Come on.
You all, as you all wake up, you gain some additional hit points, some invigoration for your journey ahead, and you start moving towards the southwest. Anybody doing anything specific within the campsite or the camp area before you move?
I'll make sure to tell everybody about Peepup, the dream, Cassis, his brother, all that stuff.
Okay. Peep Up obviously won't say anything, but he'll just kind of like he'll just kind of like smile in your direction as you're addressing the group about it. He is happy to hear that his story is being shared. You'd imagine that has not happened very much in the past 25 years.
Nice.
Yeah, keep up. If you don't talk, we can't share your story, idiot. Fuck, push him down on the dirt, spit on him.
Actually, you know what? I wonder if Zethlo has like he's like, oh yeah, I have this throat clamp, and it emulates voice if you can't speak or something ridiculous.
I already started building something, but we're not. Remember, we were like halfway there to making it like
Yeah.
polo tie.
You have
It's
you have a prototype, right?
Yeah. But my second roll wasn't good enough, so I need a
You're also in the presence of two very successful and proven artificers.
Yeah, but I don't think it was the artificer part. I think it was like something with the organic has to be heal.
It was more
It was the medicine check.
Maybe.
The medicine check I failed. The whatever the thing I did to build the device was successful, but
It was something like that. Also, I think as a general rule, I really don't like having NPCs helping other NPCs solve their NPC problems. I want to make sure you guys get a chance to do that if you want to. Because really, if I wanted to, Pasparan, Gale, and Zethlo could fix all of your problems. Be like, oh yeah.
Can you guys just go get one of the orbs for us, please?
Okay, we'll just build one for you.
A self-tracking map that can send people exactly to where the orbs are and just pluck them out of their holders. Done. World saved. 4 artificers. That's all we needed. Bel, Pasparan, Gale, and Zethlo. We're all done. But yes, suffice it to say, he is happy that you are sharing that. I assume between Eric and Urzak, the word of the creature circling the campsite has spread, and you all know about that. We'll put. Let's see. We'll put Peepup on one elephant, Albarad on the other elephant. Who else do we have? Oh, Coil. Coil will ride an elephant too.
Theoretically, we don't have to put him on the map, but for transportation reasons, I would still have Ion out because he doesn't go away.
Oh,
unless
that
he
is
dies.
true. And
But
he
just
did not, right? He didn't even go
Yeah.
down into.
Yeah, I left
He
him
just
at
stay out-
surface.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, I still don't
That's
trust
not-
Peepop because he still has a red
To the
border.
red. Yeah.
So
It's still my turn. You're gonna wake up with a corn cob in your throat.
He yearns for the corn. He yearns for the kernels.
and the can.
Great. Yeah. If no one else has anything specific to do, do you have a preferred marching order? Is there somebody who's leading the way? If not, doesn't really matter to me.
I'll go first.
Great. Are you on an elephant, or are you?
Um,
How are you getting around?
Sure. Vernon and I will be on the same elephant.
Yeah.
Zethlo has a construct for that, so he'll just be by himself. And Eric, where do you want to go? I suppose we could
We could put him with Hellbred and then. Oh wait, no.
with Teth
Then I can move.
put Coil over here.
Yeah, there you go.
Hey, great.
Question is, does Eric want to be on an elephant trapped, stuck with his brother?
He wants to swap with Coil.
Too late.
Please, God, put me on the other elephant. Great. You make it out to the ring. You see the track in the ground. That would be familiar to Eric and Urzak and Zethlo. You wait a couple moments, longer than either of you waited last evening, and nothing comes by. We'll say you wait maybe 10 minutes or so. Nothing is coming by. So it's up to you guys if you want to wait more or just keep on going.
I say let's go.
Didn't attack me earlier, so
Let's go.
Right. Continuing down southwest, I would like all of you to roll a D100 for me one more time.
On 67.
Oof.
wolf guys.
Oof.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
All right. Hopefully
We
Eric.
have one more. Eric.
Hopefully Eric gets a thick one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So
Need a-
79.
Thick roll, like a 99.
Even at 100, we can't hit 250.
We just
You're
gotta break
you're at 140 right now.
We just got to
You're
break
below
like 225, maybe 225. I feel okay about. If we're under 150, we're doomed. Sure, assuredly.
Assured.
This
Assured
is the one
destruction.
time when you like want to roll high, but then you roll under your level.
Right? Yeah, there have been 2 fucking divine interventions.
Yeah.
Because right now
Let's go.
you're sitting at a 35% with your 4 rolls.
Right.
That's quite low.
And using that
It is-
18, it's not gonna be helpful here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. I guess you can change. I mean, this is the last roll of the session. Maybe we only have 20 minutes left. I guess you don't know that, but
It could give you 5 more points.
We'll see how bad
Brad.
that rolls.
yeah,
You know,
we'll see.
All
I
right,
was gonna
guys.
say,
Grab.
both of the people with orbs rolled really low because they were trying to summon their deity.
Mhm.
Yeah. Whoever Vern's deity is right now, maybe Mammon if he rolls low, the demon god of gambling shows up.
God. What the? I was playing Pokemon the other day, and what the hell is God, yeah, that's this stupid fucker.
Hmm?
The 1000th Pokemon, they made him a Pokemon made of 1,000 gold coins.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I saw him and I immediately thought of Mammon.
So stupid.
Oh.
He's not Mammon, but he's like the messenger boy for Mammon.
hmm
It's that looks like a Flash game. Like, not quite. Like the things right after Flash games.
Yeah.
While we were waiting for Brad, I'm gonna go move Archer real quick because he is asleep. I'll be right back.
I was going to ask you guys, have you ever seen anybody use floating disk? And if they have, what the fuck do they use it for? The only thing I can think of using it for is like, I have a dog that I don't want to like dredge through the swamp. So I cast floating disk and I put the dog on it. It's dry.
I think it's really just like an industrial use spell. Like I want to move all these, I don't know, chests. Like you found a treasure room or something.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Just-
mostly for moving stuff from what I've seen. That's not you. The only reason I've even looked at it is because Selfina has it.
It can hold
in another
a bit of
campaign.
weight.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think it's like 500 pounds.
Yeah.
All right, Brad, you have to roll a D100.
Roll really, really low.
Yeah, we need. Oh no.
You said, wait, no. If you can beat Trent.
I mean, he has to honor if he gets a 100, right?
Oh my
God.
Good news, Trent. You didn't roll the lowest.
Oh,
Three
that's
divine.
first for me.
We didn't
Three
roll below
divine.
150, but we did get 150 exactly,
3 divine interventions.
or pretty close. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, listen, we already rolled a 1 on a D100, so it can't be worse than that.
Yeah.
Well, we're at 40%.
I say that's like we rolled like
Oh,
an
wait.
8.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
that's
it's
less than
not
40%.
That'd be 30. Yeah. So it'd be like rolling a 6 on a D20.
Yeah. Was it? So yeah, I mean it's not great, but it's not like a 1, right? That 79 really brought us up.
Yeah, I say the rest of us combined, I don't think we were over 79.
13.
How long has it been since Elder Brain?
Ildebrand. Not very, like, in-game.
A day.
Yeah, in game.
Like, yeah, like 2 or 3 days, maybe.
I think it's been a day. All right.
I think it
Well,
was
maybe 2 days
night-
because we had the day where with this. So the day before was the prison. I think the same day as the prison. Honestly,
No, we
Might have-
slept after
might-
the Elderbrain.
Do you think we did like a sleep
Yeah.
at Tauros or something, or was it?
I don't think we did.
It was
I think
before-
Tauros Maze was the same day as the jail.
Yeah, because we accidentally fell. That was our one, is we
Mhm.
fell into the fucking Taurus.
one more
the
day.
dominion. Oh yeah, hey, we rolled good, Barlos. No, you can't hear us. We rolled really good.
Oh,
I think-
Eric.
I think Brackle shouldn't get hit by whatever's going to happen.
Everybody else falls on the
That's
ground, and
fair.
you're just like, see ya.
See ya.
Right back in Taurus's labyrinth for everybody. So all of that added together, that gives you an even 150 out of 500,
Ooh,
which is not good.
It's also not that bad, but not
I
not
mean,
great.
What was
It's
that?
better.
6?
It's better than a full
It's,
third.
it's a 6 on a D20. Yeah,
30%.
we've done worse. Is all I'm saying.
I mean, you certainly have. You certainly have.
Pointing at Trent, we've
combining
done
all
worse.
of
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so you continue moving past the threshold of where the creature was burrowing around your campsite. You're moving out into the wilds again, and it begins to start buzzing the way that it was before. You can feel pieces of the weave becoming more visible to you, even if it's for a few seconds. It seems much more magical again. It seems much more arcane and chaotic. On the ground, as you're walking, you begin to start seeing bones. One here and there, maybe a couple, maybe a bundle. There's no clear pattern as to the creatures that these bones belonged to. Some of them seem to be humanoid in nature, but others are clearly beasts. Some of them are severely decomposed or gnawed on. Others are perfectly preserved in pristine condition. The color of the bones is under a wide variety, so there is no clear indicator what they are, where they came from, why they are here, other than the fact that none of them appear to be quite the same. The bones. That's such a funny episode. it's so good.
He said he wanted something spooky.
The
No, he
bones
didn't.
are their money. I love it. I'm a big Tim Robinson fan. I think he's so funny.
I think we just look down and be like, oh, that's weird. Just keep walking.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Vern will whisper to Coil next to him, be like, Coil, get this weave under control. Warden.
And he'll just look at you with panic in his eyes, and open the book that Urzak gave him and just start flipping through the pages, like furiously rifling through, looking for anything that might help.
Great.
Oh God! All right. Okay. I'm sorry.
I thought the way Urzak
Alright.
was using it, you're just supposed to hit it over your head.
That's true. That's true.
But somebody was paying
It's
attention.
probably of greater use to him at this point than the actual book itself, the contents of the book. The further you walk, the more condensed the bones get. There are more of them. They are closer together. You get the sense that you are at this point. You are walking into some sort of graveyard. Kath, this does not appear to be the same location of the wilds, or within the wilds, as the Battle of Sorrow. It also seems to be a much wider variety of creatures, and a much smaller area than that. So you would assume there's not a connotation there, or a correlation there, sorry.
Thank God.
The bones themselves also start getting bigger. You start seeing massive piles of both decomposing bones and like bleach white remains. There are also more bones surrounding vital bodily areas, ribs, skulls, things like that, the further in you go. The air begins to feel thicker, more humid. Not quite hazy. It doesn't impair your vision, but it feels hotter. It feels more moist.
Do we do lore legend or whatever on a bone and figure out what happened to the person? Is that a thing that can be done?
Yeah.
I can do it
Yeah.
on an area, yeah, or a person. Or
Yeah, it has to
On an
be
area?
of significance, though, right?
it has to be of legendary
It was.
worthy. Or
This was
with
significant to
legendary.
them.
So
All the-
So I could do the area maybe.
the area maybe.
Yeah.
Hey, Barco, do you want this scroll? It'd save you a charge.
Sure. Yeah, it's a 5th level spell, so yeah, I'll take the
I'll-
save.
I'll never be able to use it.
Use it up.
Legend Lore scroll.
Oh, take your greater healing potion, Urzok. Back.
Yeah. How much money do I owe you?
It's so negligible. Just don't even
Okay.
worry about it.
I think I might have the most money in the party.
Probably. I spent a
Well,
lot of money on something.
not the most.
Not including for the Wellerby estate.
Yeah.
25 million gold pieces.
All right. You cast Legend Lore?
Yeah, we used the scroll.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. Upon casting Legend Lore, actually, you know what? Let me look it up so I know exactly how to put this. You guys have used it enough. I should just have it memorized by now. Oh, might be couched in figurative language. Fuck off, Wizards of the Coast. The information you learn is going to be accurate and very bullet pointed and finite about this place. No figurative language. Brackle, upon casting Legend Lore, you become acutely aware of a smaller conflict that happened in this area not as long ago as the Battle of Sorrow, and certainly not of continent-wide significance. But you are nearing the bottom half of the wilds. This is a piece of the wilds that kind of assimilated into it after the fact. It used to be more fertile, used to be more of a serviceable piece of the country before it became more desolate.
Okay.
You would know this place now as the Bone Fields. You know that it is a sometimes unnecessarily unforgiving valley in the wilds that was home to a great conflict long ago, about 150 years ago. It's more recent than the big battles that took place, but it was significant to a lot of creatures that used to be housed in the center of the continent.
Mhm.
Anyone who is familiar with the Bone Fields and speaks of it to other creatures, they do so with reverence. They're all very aware that the creatures that were here in the times of conflict and made it out were incredibly lucky. Any moment that they spent there could have been their last. Walking through this place, some of the bones are huge. You'd know that there were very large creatures involved in this conflict. There were creatures like giants on both sides, on all sides. The mystery behind this is that no one that was there that survived to tell the tale of it quite knows what the conflict was about. They all describe the same sort of brain fog leaving the area. They knew that they were fighting, and a lot of them would explain to their loved ones or their friends afterwards, being met with very specific triggers in public. Sometimes certain colors or certain weapons if they saw one at a shop, or if they saw a stranger on the street that reminded them of somebody that they were in the Bone Fields conflict with, they might be taken back for a few moments. but largely there is a blanket and widespread confusion within anyone that was involved that survived. You also know that the further you go in, likely will be quite poisonous to anyone who needs to breathe.
Good thing we're immune to poison.
Hey, yeah.
It's a good day for a feast.
Good day for a feast.
But I'll still tell them that it's poisonous. Just so they know.
And you can also, I mean, you can already kind of start verifying that with the change in the air quality. You would assume assuming all of this is true and your spell worked correctly, you are moving into the heart of what is considered the bone fields, and the air quality, the air purity, the condition of the bones and walkable terrain, all will only get worse from here on out. And that's what you get from your legend lore.
Okay.
It's
So
quite a
there's
bit.
no giant monster. It's just the conditions are so bad that everything kind of dies.
Yeah. We'll just die if
Okay.
we stay here. Yeah.
Just exposure will.
I mean, there could be a monster.
That's true.
Could be, yeah. I mean, you would. I mean, I suppose all of you are at high enough level now to know that in arid conditions like this, if there are monsters here, they would be monsters that are immune to disease, immune to poison, or don't have to breathe. So nasty stuff that you're
Kinda
walking
sounds-
towards.
Kind of reminds me of Viseria.
Yeah,
A little
yeah.
Oh.
All right. Well, if
But that's that.
however many
It's
hours
8:57,
left.
so that's probably where we'll end with that legend lore.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're walking into the bone fields.
Bones.
Gonna get boned. Spook.
This is above table. This is an encounter. This is the third one that I've used for this game out of this book. I got it for Christmas. It's a Game Master's Book of Random Encounters. This book is great. There's a whole series of them. I've used different things from different books. Like
Mhm.
I have 4 of them now, and these are really great. Highly recommend.
Nice.
Or if any of you want to borrow them sometime, you're welcome to borrow them and look through them.
Oh yeah. I've just been reading. Occasionally, I'll just keep reading on Strahd.
Yeah. Yeah, after this campaign or whatever. Whenever the next time is that I need a brain break from DMing or something.
Mm-hmm.
Do that.
Yeah.
I've never played Strahd before.
Neither have I. I think Billy's the
It's
only one.
miserable.
Yeah,
I'll make-
it's pretty bad. Like miserable.
I'll
You're
make
gonna
it
be
not.
fucking miserable.
I'll make it not miserable.
I don't believe that
No, why is that?
because I don't believe it. I
It'll
think you'll
be
make it less
I'll make
miserable.
it fun miserable.
Yeah, exactly. It'll be less miserable, so it's more fun than just pure misery.
All right, guys. Fun session back. It was a little slow start back into it, but I think thanks to your super low D100 roll, we're gonna see some action here pretty soon. So
Yeah.
Right.
no worries.
Those are
Gonna-
intentions.
Well, it all depends all depends on your choices and rules. So
We
you could just tell all the
Just-
bone creatures that you're inspectors, and you're just there to make sure that they're doing everything correct.
We're trying to make
uh,
sure that all these bones are good.
Good.
Yeah. How's your air filtration system here in the bone fields, guys? A little lackluster, I think.
It was a good hero's feast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
Pretty
Good
good
call.
time.
Good call. I had that picked out this morning. So the very cool decision, Brad.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Have a good night. I appreciate all of you as always, and I will see you next week.
All right.
Sounds
It
good.
is.
Alright.
See you guys.
See you guys.
Bye.